Women of the 1800s, were they oppressed?
Broadly,
This was one of the best Tim Pool debates that I've seen in a while. Tim Pool debates a liberal feminist. He was being a little too nice to her, probably because they were in person, but I'm not there, so let's go.
When it comes to, like I've said this, women get mad at me when I say this, but like women are literally designed to extract value from men. Like that is what they're designed to do. We're designed to provide value. Their values, what they do is extract value. This is why,
but
like,
you don't got to say it in such like a dick way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's the
Amber,
truth.
what do you have to say, Amber?
This is why women.
Well, you're
like,
asking
this
her
is
to
why we
commit
don't
18
care.
years of her life and to carry a body that is destructive to our body. Being able to bear a child is like
We understand.
annihilates our body.
But
Well, when you're
the
saying
point I'm
where
trying
women
to make is that women are literally designed to extract value.
Does anybody know if this woman has any kids? Because I've heard this line multiple times, and typically when I hear it, it's from women who don't have children. Well, you're asking us to commit 18 years to something, and we need to have this and that. And it's like, what are you talking about? You think having a child only benefits the man? You think only the man wants to have a child? They use the same tactic with sex. I don't want it. I don't want the sex. Well, the O-Face last night said otherwise. Oh, you fixed the bathroom sink? Oh, okay, one time. I'm not asking you for something. This is something we want together.
Do you think that a time 200 years ago, the way that feminism and females' roles in society, do you think that that was oppressive? Yes or no?
Yeah. I mean, before women had rights, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was robbing of their agency.
We have a lot of consumerism and technologies nowadays that I think enable feminism. Do you think that a time when they didn't have paper towels or a washer machine or all of these other things that women used to do, were they oppressed in that role, taking care of the house?
I like this question.
Yeah, I think
I do like this question.
I think essentially that when you like take away people's like political rights, you are robbing them of agency, which I think is inherently oppressive. I think stealing people's ability to make choices is bad. And most importantly, you can see this, for example, when you look at Spartan women versus Athenian women. Spartan women were actually like expected to manage the household because Spartans thought it was gay for men to like touch money, basically, which is funny. But
I have a Jew joke, but I'm afraid to say it.
Spartan women were actually like expected to manage the household because Spartans thought it was gay for men to like touch money, basically, which is funny. But Spartan women, as a result, were able to negotiate a lot more things like better wages, better like marital care, better maternity leave, whereas Athenian women were basically like rejected from society, and as a result, they were like entirely powerless. So yes, not having any political power or agency diminishes your ability.
Who were the Spartans defeated by? The Spartans were ultimately defeated by the Thebans. Thebans?
Thebans.
Nice.
Women of the 1800s, were they oppressed?
Broadly, the poor ones especially, yes. The like rich ones, yes, to a
Was it
lesser
oppressive
degree.
that they were expected to be doing womanly things, cleaning laundry? And...
No, it was the robbing of the rights.
But
It was that
can't
they
we
had
all-
no other choice to do anything else.
Can't we all agree that even since the beginning of time, women have had gender roles, different gender roles than men, though? I mean,
Yeah.
is that
Men
so,
and women are not the
No, I'm
same.
saying I agree
Yeah.
with you. So that's from the beginning of time we've known
The
difference
point,
is
which is
men could choose cobbler or these sorts of things. Women were only allowed to have babies and
Right.
make the
But
house.
the
And
reason-
that was basic.
No, they couldn't. Men didn't have the ultimate opportunity. Ancient Rome, for instance, which many people consider a civilized old world, had like an 80% poverty rate. History is full of men struggling, being in poverty, taken advantage of. And I'm sorry, but being able to vote when you own no property or assets, there was a time when you couldn't even vote if you didn't own properties. Both men and women get this argument wrong. Both men seem to think that the past was some utopia and you could just get a woman easily and you could just acquire all this property and assets. No, the golden age of the American empire, post-Great Depression and the 50 years following after World War II, that was an anomaly.
Making the argument that women were doing physical feats, men were disproportionately doing those physical feats. But
No,
now
I'm
it's not a
making
big
an
deal
argument
to have
that
a
men
female
had
tractor
agency.
driver.
Well, no, I said men had agency and women didn't, right? My issue isn't
the
that women
reason-
had traditional gender roles.
The
My issue
reason
is
why
that women
men
had no
carried
choice to be
heavy
anything
things
else.
and chopped lumber was not because they oppressed women.
I don't have a problem with that. I have an issue if women can't choose to do things like teaching or own
Men
real
did not
estate.
invent pickle jars to oppress women. They're just hard to open.
I don't know why you're running away from this argument.
Because now they have automatic
there's-
pickle jar openers. You don't need men anymore.
There's nothing masculine about owning property, right? There's just nothing inherent.
That's what I'm
There's
talking
nothing. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
The point
So
he
engage with me.
made was with technological advancements allowing for women to not have to do these jobs is a depression when they did. And I think it's an interesting point that men chop lumber because they have big upper bodies and heavy arms.
I never
and
said I
it's easy to
want
swing
women
axe.
in the 1800s to
But
chop
now
lumber.
that we have automatic lumber splitters, it's not a big deal to have women doing that job. They weren't oppressing women by saying, no, we're going to have a guy chop lumber.
I'll just state my opinion again because I don't think you're engaging with it. I'm not saying that women were oppressed in the 1800s because they weren't lumberjacks. I'm saying women were oppressed because they didn't have the option to be anything but homemakers and own private property. That's why they were oppressed.
I think
She's totally onto something there, guys, because there were instances where there was 2 coal mines that the men could choose to work at. They all had options. It's just surprising so many of them chose to be trackmen instead of surgeons or going and getting a career in finance.
Firearms have greatly equalized power between men and women in a lot of ways. So if you were
Guns
a
are
woman in the
feminist.
1800s, you weren't going to be a sheriff,
True.
right?
Yeah.
Because I think it was until like the late they didn't have cartridges until the late 1800s. So if you're late 1700s, it was not oppression. They said a woman can't be in this role. It was the physical impossibility of it.
It was both, right?
But the other thing too is
they would even say she like invented something. There was some superpower woman who could theoretically maintain the same jobs.
but it's
she
just-
wasn't allowed to.
But the issue is, you're not likely to see a woman, manually tilling fields with pickaxes.
That's not true. Actually, women were regularly doing farm labor. In fact, that was one of the main domicile areas. that they
Specifically
existed
tilling
in.
the fields.
Yes, they would
Men were
specifically-
pulling these things before beasts of burden.
So were women. I don't know what to tell you there.
Okay.
This was just shared by the household.
You're
typically.
making the argument that women were doing physical feats men were disproportionately doing those physical feats. But
No,
now
I'm
it's not a
making an
big deal
argument
to have
that
a
men
female
had
tractor
agency.
driver.
Well, no, I said men had agency and women didn't. Right. My issue isn't that women
reason-
had traditional gender roles.
The
My
reason
issue is
why
that women
men
had no
carry
choice to be
heavy
anything
things and
else.
chop
When there are instances where men have more power, let's say, is when they played defense and kept you alive. Your mother and your grandmothers used men as a vehicle to get you here today. These bullshit complaints saying you didn't have to work a factory job in the early 1900s is crazy.
This is just the honest reality when it comes to like how women deal with men and how men deal with women. Like men have to understand women, whereas women don't really have to understand men to be able to get the same access, right?
But
'Cause
if they
women don't
understood women better, they'd probably have longer marriages and women would be leaving them less often, I'm assuming, right? Because women cite the same reasons
Well-
over and over for why they end the marriages, even though I would argue to women, like there should probably be more work
women
that's
end
done.
relationships a lot of times because they have this concept that they should always be happy, and that overrides duty to the family. So that's another reason too why women end marriages and relationships, because we tell women that their happiness overrides everything, and they'll be like, oh, you know what, I could do better. Like women have this perpetual, the grass is greener on the other side. I could do better. I can do better.
It's usually I
Mindset.
could do better without.
Well, so-
it's
so-
usually why they're leaving men.
that's
They don't
another
say
L.
I can find a new man who's better. They say I'd
Right.
rather be single than
Yep.
fucking put up with
I
this shit.
wanna- I
That's
wanna
usually
throw
why
out-
women leave men.
Yeah.
I have a stupid, uninformed hypothesis where I think women will average at a slight state of discontent relative to men. And the reason why I think that might be is that imagine there's 2 tribal, plains, savannah
here we go.
dwelling humans, 2 tribes. And in one, the woman is always content with what is. So the guy comes back and says, hey, I caught us some fish. We have food for the day. And she goes, that's perfect. The other woman in the other tribe is, no matter what happens, she's always a little unhappy and demanding more of the man. So he says, I brought enough fish for food. And she goes, why am I only getting 2 fish? This is bullshit. I want 3 fish. And he goes, okay, I'll go get you more fish. Geez, calm down. One day, there's a famine. The woman who was always complaining has more and survives, and the woman who was content does not. This is not to dig on women. I'm saying that women are demanding of their men because they want to survive, and so
Yes.
they constantly expect more from men.
I get exactly what Tim is saying here. No need to defend him in the comments. Well, you can if you want. Maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of times we use natural selection and our evolutionary past to explain modern day behaviors when it's completely unnecessary. Just the modern society and economy can explain the behavior in women. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. I am Jake Day. We'll see you in the next one.